Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Hit or Misscast. I'm Clay from Hit or Miss Productions.
I'm Haylie from Hit or Miss Productions.
Monster Scream.
We're talking about monsters.
We're talking about monsters. But Ben has some movie news from us.
From us?
For us. But today we're talking about monsters, but Ben has some movie news for us. Hit us with it, Ben.
I also have movie news from us. My short film reached 2,000 views on YouTube. It's beautiful. We love it.
Stream it if you haven't.
It's true.
Stream our other one.
We have two.
His.
Another one coming out in September.
Another one coming out September 1st.
My phone's buzzing. Sorry, guys.
Mute
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm unprofessional.
Mute it.
I did it. It was a reminder that goes through my Do Not Disturbs. But
Okay.
yeah.
I do have actual movie news though that people probably care about, but maybe not. So Warner Brothers Animation Studios' first ever feature, The Cat in the Hat, just got delayed from February until November of next year.
Makes me so sad because I was so excited to see it.
I love Bill Hader as Cat in the Hat. It can only be so funny as Mike Myers as Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, I actually have my own piece of news. As you'll notice, Ben's not wearing shoes in this episode.
I haven't been in any of the episodes we filmed.
Well, I guess I just haven't noticed because I'm the
You're making me
editor.
self-conscious. I'm gonna sit like this.
All right, Ben. So, what do y'all think? Do y'all think The Cat in the Hat will be a big box office hit in March or whenever it's coming
So
out?
they moved it to November.
November when it's coming out.
And from what I read on Deadline, they did that because they're hoping to be like a big holiday release. But I've seen the trailer, and I just don't think it's gonna be the hit
Like you're
that they want
thinking
it to be.
Thanksgiving?
They said I think November 6th is the day that they slated it for.
Okay.
I don't think that's gonna be a big hit. We're still gonna watch it because we're insane and hate ourselves.
See, we should have done a double feature of The Cat in the Hat and Shin Godzilla because then it would be The Cat in the Hat and the Lizard with the Gat.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
I think I'm editing this one. I'm cutting that.
No, don't cut. You can't cut jokes. That's not
We
allowed.
can't. So, other movie news. The cinematographer for the Batman, I forget his name, but we'll put it on screen. He is probably not doing the Batman Part 2 because he is instead doing the 4 Beatles biopics that are coming out, which are, I think, a very interesting thing to just exist in the world. Just make one Beatles pick.
Yeah, I think that is interesting. Interesting choice to do 4 separate Beatles biopics.
Yeah, like they're just bugs. Like, how much story can there be?
Exactly.
That's what I've
There's
been
already a
saying for
Bug's
years.
Life,
Bug's Life,
ants. There's no need for 4 more.
What's that other one?
Them,
Human
the movie about the
Centipede.
giant human centipede. There's 3 of those.
Yeah.
There's
a
like
lot of movies about bugs.
We don't need any more.
We'll get into it.
Men in Black 1. I'm trying to find this guy's name, and I could be googling it, but instead I'm scrolling through
So
discussing
is
films.
the same? Is this going to be the same director for all 4, or are they going to switch it up?
I'm pretty sure
it's
Matt
Sam
Reeves is also directing it.
Matt Reeves is
talking about
directing the
the
Batman
Beatles.
too.
The Beatles.
The Beatles is
I
Sam
don't know.
Mendes. So
Sorry.
Sam Mendes is directing all 4 Beatles movies, I believe. He directed, I think, 1917 and American Beauty, starring Kevin Smith.
Okay.
I'm not Kevin Smith, Kevin Spacey. And speaking of
Works.
monsters, we're gonna talk about. Actually, no, we still got more movie
We
news.
got more
Sorry.
news. Clay, do you have any news?
My wife's pregnant.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's really awesome.
All right, are we ready to talk about Honey Donut?
One last thing.
Oh yeah.
This is TV related.
Edit. He doesn't have a wife, and she's not pregnant.
Why are you ruining my fun? Producer Jordan, make a note to keep that in.
Yeah, producer Jordan, get on that. So, not movie related, this is TV related, but The Pit Season 2 just had a teaser trailer drop. Very excited for The Pit. Haley, I know you don't like medical dramas. 'Cause
I
it
don't.
scares you. But Clay, you watched the first season of The Pit.
I did. I'm super excited for
One
it.
of my favorite shows, probably my favorite show of the year so far, so I'm really excited for Season 2.
Yeah, it makes me want to be a doctor because I'm like, that seems like so much fun.
Does
Just like getting
too.
blood all over you.
I shouldn't have gone to film school.
Should have gone to medical school.
I could be in a residency right now.
Y'all are
Yeah.
insane.
Imagine it. It could have been like Haylie here talking about movies and me
By
and Ben
myself.
talking about like giving surgery.
We'd be with Dr. Mike. Just having the
Exactly.
time of
We should
our
have Dr.
lives.
Mike on the cast. What movie do you think he'd recommend? Monsters Inc. Probably.
Yeah, what's it? Monsters vs. Aliens has Hugh Laurie in it, who stars in House MD.
Yeah.
So I think we should talk about Monsters vs. Aliens.
And Haylie, as we
Dr.
all know,
Mike, hit us up.
MD stands for.
Mouse doctor.
All right, mouse doctor, exactly. All right, is that all your news, Ben? I didn't look at the itinerary for
That's
today that you
all my
printed out.
news. So if you have any other news or just anything else you'd like to talk about.
I do have one news story. Honey Don't came out this week. Haylie, tell us what it's about.
That was a good segue.
No.
That was a good segue.
Thank you. I like it. No, all right. Honey Don't came out this weekend. Ben, tell us what it's about.
Honey Don't is about a private investigator who does some private investigating and is a lesbian.
Yeah.
I think that about summarizes it.
Right. One thing that I thought was interesting is that Honey Don't is actually doing pretty poorly because they've alienated the Winnie the Pooh audience. All right, we got to keep this train rolling. We can't pause after every incredible joke that I make, guys.
The Winnie the Pooh audience. That's a tough one to win over, too.
So what were our spoiler-free thoughts?
My spoiler-free thoughts is that for a good majority of the movie, I was just bored.
I was so
Okay.
bored. I really did not. So this is the second movie in a threesome of lesbian B movie like murder mystery
Correct.
crime story things. The first one was Drive Away Dolls, which came out like 2 years ago.
Correct.
The second one is Honey Don't, and the third one, I don't know the title, but it's out there somewhere. You can Google it. Haley will put it on screen. We're going to give her a lot of editing work
Google
today.
cool lesbian movies.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll find a bunch.
Can I say a little more about it?
Yeah.
It's written by Ethan Coen of the Coen Brothers, who famously, the Coen Brothers did Fargo and Raising, those movies.
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men, Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing, Blood
A
Simple.
lot of really good movies.
Yeah, Hail Caesar. They did a lot of great
So
movies.
you would think that Honey Don't is going to be a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that didn't happen. So Ethan Coen is married to a lesbian. They have 2 kids together, and they say it's a non-traditional relationship, and by they I mean that is what the 2 of them say. The writer of the film is named Trisha Cook, which is Ethan Coen's wife.
Good one.
Yeah.
Very
And
non-traditional marriage.
they met on the set of Miller's Crossing, which was a movie from the 90s that the Coen brothers directed. They got married in like 93, I think, and started writing movies then. They pitched Drive Away Dolls all the way back in the 2000s. It was greenlit in 2007, and then it finally came out in like 2023. So then they finally got around to making the second movie, which is Honey Don't, which also stars Margaret Qualley, or Qualley, do you know how to pronounce it? I've heard it both
I've
ways.
always said Qualley.
Margaret
I don't
Qualley.
actually know.
Yeah. Margaret Qualley, who starred in the best
Masterpiece.
movie of the decade. Did you say Rest in Peace?
I said I was
Margaret
about to
Qualley, Rest in
sneeze.
Peace. She was killed after this movie.
Gravely missed.
She had a great career, The Substance,
All right.
Kinds of Kindness, and now she's dead. So Honey Don't is her first posthumous release. And what did y'all think of
Terrible bit.
what did y'all think about
Oh.
Margaret Qualley's performance in Honey Don't?
So I'll be honest. I think I'm probably the most positive on the movie. Like I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. You're gonna make a lesbian joke.
I'm not gonna make a lesbian joke. That's crazy.
I didn't
no
hate
one
it.
was thinking.
It really was just like Drive Away Dolls 2, in my opinion. You
Never
didn't
saw
see
Drive Away
It
Dolls.
really was
It
just
was
like
just
Drive
it
Away
was
Dolls
Drive Away
2.
Dolls, but a little worse.
You think a little worse?
Yes.
I thought it was like about the same.
At least Drive Away Dolls had like these crazy little edits where I'm like, I wasn't bored in Drive Away Dolls. I was just like, this isn't great. I thought that Honey Don't was just so boring. Like most of the story, I don't think added up to anything. And with it being a murder mystery type deal, I thought that the performances across the board were like pretty bad. Especially from Chris Evans and Charlie Day. Like I
thought Chris Evans was funny.
There were a lot of big names built in this movie, and none of them really delivered, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Charlie Day kind of just says the same line over and over again. Chris Evans isn't much of a character, really, and he has this very long monologue about macaroni that makes no sense.
I chuckled.
Maybe that's the point of his monologue, is that he's just full of bad word, but it didn't sit that well with me. Like Clay said, I was just kind of bored the whole way through, which I feel like for having such like well-known actors who can definitely do something more character driven, it felt like it was trying to be plot driven without the plot to support it.
And the movie was like an hour and a half, but to me it felt so long. Like I was checking the time, wonder after about like an hour, I was like, this has grinded to a halt. because some of the like bigger storylines get wrapped up like really early and kind of like out of nowhere in an unsatisfying way. And so for the last 30 minutes, you're just kind of like waiting, like what are they going to do with the last 30 minutes of this? And like Ben was saying, there's a lot of characters who don't really like have a purpose for being in the film. Charlie Day, I understand, because they were trying to give a relatable character to the audience. But besides that, like Chris Evans' character didn't really add up to anything. Most of the characters didn't really add up to anything. Margaret Qualley was the only one who I thought gave a good performance. Like I enjoyed watching her on screen. I also just thought the tone was very weird because like I would have liked it if it were more timeless. But, like, they're making references to, like, COVID and, like, the modern era.
Yeah, I was confused about what era it was supposed to be.
It's supposed to be the modern day with, like, I guess a 70s aesthetic, which, like, could be cool, I guess, but the movie was, like, explicitly pointing out, like, it's 70s, but 2020. And if it was just more of, like, a timeless thing, like, it didn't have to say it was set in the 70s, but they could have still had, like, her using, like, a Rolodex or whatever. Or it could have been like she was the only one who was interested in the 70s, because they keep pointing out like you use a Rolodex, you use a landline, you're so old fashioned, but all the other characters dress and talk like they were in the 70s. So I just thought it was like more distracting than cool, except for at some moments.
Speaking of performances, I was not impressed with Aubrey Plaza's performance in this.
Yeah, I thought she was pretty bad.
She was not very good in this movie, and I like Aubrey Plaza a lot.
Yeah. There were some scenes I thought she did really good in, but most of them I was not a fan of.
Yeah.
I do like
the sex scenes.
Okay.
I like how Margaret Qualley is like having this noir narration to herself most of the time. I thought that was really fun, but the voice she was doing was not sticking for me. It was kind of like in Birds of Prey with Margot Robbie's voice. It's just like, after a while, you're like, okay, we're doing an accent that's not quite hitting.
And for me, it felt like they realized the story wasn't interesting, so they kept adding in these, like, they tried to, like, add layers to the side characters with this, like, weird, like, kind of cringy, attempting to be funny dialogue, which is something the Coen brothers did in, like, Fargo and, like, Raising Arizona. But it was actually funny then. Here it's just, like, the parents go on, like, a tirade about how bus users are trashy. And there's just, like, a bunch of, like, random dialogue like that has nothing to do with anything. There's a point where Chris Evans and Margaret Qualley debate if it's Tuesday or Wednesday. And it's like, this is just here. Can we just, like, move it on? And there's so many points where the movie, like, grinds to a halt to, like, let this like, style of comedy come out. That I feel like that's what like really hurts the pacing. Like every scene could be shortened by like 2 minutes if they wouldn't have all that like unnecessary, unfunny dialogue. True.
It makes me wish I was watching Joel Coen's The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Yeah. What happened to that guy?
Well, you know.
It was such a tragedy.
So he killed this guy's dad, and so this guy stormed the castle and killed him. But it's because a witch told him to, so it's not really his fault if you think about it. And also his wife was kind of egging him on. You gotta feel for the guy. You know?
Those Coens write some outlandish stories, don't they? Yeah,
definitely not some dude named William.
But yeah, do we want to get into spoilers? I said it was my idea. It was my idea.
I've been thinking about it for the past part.
I'm running this podcast, and I peaked the mic.
I've been like implanting that idea into your brain for like a minute.
So it was really Ben's idea.
It's really Ben's idea. Charles Xavier did that into you.
Okay. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So what happens? I don't really understand what was going on here.
So I think Aubrey Plaza was the villain all along.
Yes.
But
I think did she kidnap this?
She kidnaps Honey's niece.
Yes.
But I think, you know, the thing about a twist villain is that it can't be random. And this just happens randomly. I think
like she's a cop.
It's not set up at all.
Yeah,
like there's
you need to have some sort of build up to the fact that there's a twist villain. Wow. But instead it just kind of happens. And it didn't really make sense to me. The whole storyline with Chris Evans and the church definitely just kind of ends out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, they're dealing drugs, and like the way the movie's advertised, you think that's going to be like the main plot point, but it's not. It gets wrapped up pretty
the drugs aren't really touched on
act.
very much.
I'm going to try to explain what happens in the movie and stop me if I'm wrong. Because I am a little fuzzy because like there's so many disconnected things. So basically, Chris Evans runs this like Christian cult called like the Temple of something, Temple of the Four something. And he uses that cult in order to like have sex with the like females who go there, and it preys on like upset, sad young women. And so these young women go to his church, have sex with him, and also the church deals drugs, so it's got its own organized crime deal, and I think it gets its drugs from like a French organized crime organization.
The French are mentioned all.
So I think what it is it's like the women are there for sex and the men are there for drug dealing.
Yeah. And so the women from this church start turning up dead, and the assumption is that it has something to do with the drug dealing or something like that, or like maybe them coming out. But as it turns out, Aubrey Plaza, who is a police officer, is murdering them because she thinks it's like a sign of weakness for hurt people to go to the church and be exploited. And she's like, I don't want them to be exploited, so I'm just going to kill them or something like that.
Which really makes no sense in terms of motivation, which I also think is what happened. But she didn't kill Honey's niece.
But they said she stabbed like the woman who died in the car at the beginning. Because like Charlie Day or someone is like, there were similar knife wounds in her as there were in Aubrey Plaza's father, who she stabbed because Aubrey Plaza's father wanted to like hit her.
And also you, who she stabbed.
Yeah. We matched the stab wound from your chest to her father's chest 20 years ago. And like she just like exploded a car with her dead father's like body in it and like said that it was like him going overseas or something like that.
Yeah.
Which just so happens to perfectly match up with what happened to, like, Margaret Qualley's dad. Because, like, Aubrey Plaza tells this story of, like, oh, see, my father went overseas and died. And, like, that's a lie. Or my father went overseas because he was part of the military and, like, died or disappeared or something. And that turns out to be a lie. But right after Aubrey Plaza says that, Margaret Qualley's like, oh, that happened to me, too. And so it's like, did Aubrey Plaza know that, or was that just like a coincidence that they had similar backstories?
Dad was in the military.
Well, yeah, but the going overseas and like disappearing part was a lie because she stabbed him.
And also at one point in the movie, Honey's dad does come back, but that plot goes nowhere. It takes up about 15 minutes of screen time.
And why didn't has the niece never met her dad?
I assume that's what it is because she's like, oh, there's this homeless person in my like weenie heaven restaurant.
Or did she notice him and was? And should she know who he was and didn't want to talk to him? That was a thought that I also had.
I think she didn't know who he was because that's why he said, like, I love you, and she ran away because she thought that he was, like, a creepy homeless person.
Unhoused person.
Unhoused person, sorry. This is a woke podcast.
This is a woke podcast.
A thought that crossed my mind was that she might recognize him, but I'm not... I mean, I could be completely crazy, but, like, that could be... I don't know if that's...
Yeah, I'm not sure. There were two other... One of my big problems with this movie is that there is just, like, a lot of coincidences. So, Margaret Qualley, like, discovers the truth about Aubrey Plaza because she's, like, walking through her house and just happens to see, like, a yearbook, and that yearbook just happens to have, like, a religious quote from Aubrey Plaza's character in it. And it's, like, that feels like a big stretch to get this information revealed. So I think what happens is that Margaret Qualley's niece goes to the church, and that's why Aubrey Plaza kidnaps her or whatever happens to her. But she only goes to the church because her father or grandfather is it grandfather? That was Margaret Qualley's
Denise's grandfather.
Grandfather. So Margaret Qualley's niece sees her grandfather at a bus stop and gets scared and looks over, and there's an advertisement for the church on the bus, which I assume leads her to run to the church for some reason, and that's why Aubrey Plaza kidnaps her?
No, I don't think she ever goes to the church.
Then why did Aubrey Plaza kidnap her?
Because she knew that her there was a line. She kidnapped her because she knew that her boyfriend was beating her up. Mm-hmm. And she said that she like didn't like that.
Yeah.
And like she like didn't want her to go back. I'm pretty sure.
I was just very lost.
Either way, the motivation doesn't really make sense.
There's also like 4 times in this movie where a character walks up to kill somebody with a knife, and then they get into a big fight, and the character gets injured, and then he pulls like a gun, or he or she pulls a gun out of their waistband. Because off the top of my head, I know Margaret Qualley does that because she wants to fight Aubrey Plaza with a butter knife, gets stabbed, and then pulls a gun out.
It was Aubrey Plaza's gun that she had stolen.
Well, yes, but she still pulls a gun. which the same thing happens to.
Which
she might not have stolen it till like.
Well, it 100% happens to that guy, the goon of Chris Evans. Because he like walks up, because like you see in like the dead lady's eyeballs that goon is like holding a knife, like about to stab him, and they get into like a big fight where they're like hitting him and stuff, and then he pulls a gun out, and I'm like, why did you not? Why, if you're killing someone, just pull the gun out? Like, why would you not do that?
Yeah, there's just like a lot of effort when you have a gun.
It was just, the whole thing was very poorly written, very boring. The only thing I really enjoyed were the opening credits, because those were kind of cool.
They were neat, but then the directed by Ethan Coen was different from all the others. I was like, come on, keep it the same, keep it consistent. There was one bit that I thought was really funny though. When the guy is at the drive-thru, he's like, I'll have the weenie combo. She says, sir, they're all weenie combos. Yeah, I don't know why that
cracks me up. That line stuck out, yeah. But
other than that,
this movie, I don't mind sex in movies at all. I like it, because I love the 70s. I feel like this movie was purely in service of the sex, and the sex wasn't in service of anything. Because I just don't see like a theme or a message or like a compelling story or anything. Like, all I've heard about this movie leading up to it is like, oh, this is the movie where there's a sex scene between Aubrey Plaza and Margaret Qualley.
Which sucks for lesbian media.
Yeah, let me be woke for a second, guys. As the straight person, as a straight man. I feel like all of the lesbians in this movie are made to appeal to men. Like, they're all like femme actresses who are often known for being attractive to straight men, and like
Aubrey Plaza was posed as the mask, like she was wearing like boxers, and
which I don't buy.
Whatever, which I also don't buy.
Yeah, I didn't have that problem. I don't think with Drive Away Dolls. I don't remember.
No,
I also get that confused with Love Lies Bleeding, which is the best lesbian crime movie.
Not that there's an issue with Femme for Femme. That's totally that.
Let's cover our tracks here, folks.
That's totally fine.
In a major movie like this, it just felt.
It sucks to not have the representation in a movie about lesbians where you should have more lesbian representation.
True, and also, like Clay said, the sex wasn't in service of anything, and I think that kind of just makes it porn.
Yeah, but bad porn, because you have to watch a bunch of story.
And you have to pay $25 for it.
Yeah.
We have A-list.
What are we doing?
We're in Alabama. All we have to do is submit our IDs, and then we can watch all porn for free, thank you.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Go dogs.
But yeah,
let's talk about our ratings for Honey Don't.
Yeah, Honey Don't. Ben, start us off.
5 out of 10.
Haylie.
It's boring.
Oh, sorry.
I give it a 6 out of 10, same as Drive Away Dolls.
Oh, I'm being the negative Nancy finally. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10.
Wow.
I really didn't like
low.
it. Watch Love Lies Bleeding. It's a much better lesbian crime movie.
Pirate it.
Don't pirate Love Lies Bleeding.
Pirate it. It's free and fun.
Bleeding is very, very
Don't
good.
pirate Love Lies Bleeding. That's bad. Unless somebody involved with it is a bad person.
Love Lies Bleeding was my girlfriend's first date.
Aww, that's so cute.
My first date with my girlfriend was Thelma, and I cried the entire third act. And I'm surprised that we didn't end things then and there. But it's fine.
Yeah, my first date was a walk in the park. Anyways, let's talk about Shin Godzilla. Ben, tell us about Shin Godzilla.
Okay, so picture this. It's 2016. It's Tokyo. You're a Coast Guard officer, and you see this yacht just chilling out in the Tokyo Bay. You're like, all right, let's go see what's up with this. There's no one on it. Suddenly, big old explosion in the water. The tunnel's flooding. People are freaking out. And then for like an hour and a half, the government just debates on what to do as the giant monster attacks the city. And it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's Shin Godzilla kind of in a nutshell. So
yeah.
I have a lot of information about Shin Godzilla.
Go for it.
And we can talk about things. If there's anything you guys want to talk about in terms of the plot, like now might be the time. But I'm going to talk development.
I'm going to get comfortable for a second.
I want to talk all sorts of things. I have 2.5 pages worth of notes. So... First of all, we're going to talk about just like the quick eras of Godzilla. So in Japan, besides the Millennium Era, which is kind of understandably named that, the eras are named based off of like the Japanese calendar era, which is based on the reign of the current emperor. So we had the Showa era from 1954 until 1975. So it's the original movie all the way up to, I think, Terror of Mechagodzilla, which is a great movie. There's the Heisei era from 1984 to 95, Millennium from 99 to 04, and the Reiwa era from 2016 to the present. There's also the 2 United States ones, which you don't really count. We have the TriStar one, Godzilla 98. That movie's terrible. I love it. And the legendary MonsterVerse movies that started in 2014 and are still going. So Godzilla's been around for 71 years. Very long-running franchise. There was a point in time, kind of really before this era of Godzilla that Shin started, where it was mostly just a kids franchise. Mm-hmm. Like, these are movies made for kids. Kids are going to go see them. So this one kind of flips that on its head, and I think that's really neat. Shin Godzilla is the first Toho released live-action Godzilla since the 2004 one. It's the 31st Godzilla movie ever made. There's 38 now. There's a lot. So let's talk. Oh, we didn't talk about the budget for Honey Don't.
Oh yeah, I was writing Haylie put this part on ×2 speed on my phone. Yeah, we forgot to play Guess That Budget. So a little thing that we like to do on the podcast, maybe not on the one released episode, but on the 2 episodes that didn't get released, is play Guess That Budget. Honey Don't does not have a publicly available budget, so we won't be doing that this time. So let's talk about Shin Godzilla.
Okay, I'm going to give you Shin Godzilla's budget in yen, and I want you guys to try and figure out what that is.
In yang. Uh-oh.
No. Okay, so it had a budget of 2.9 billion yen. What do you think that is in United States dollars? Your timer starts now.
It's got to be at least $3.
It is at least 3. That is correct.
Is this like, are we going by the Price is Right rules to where it's like the closest?
Yeah, sure. Closest one wins.
Oh,
all right, Haylie, give us your guess.
No, I don't want to go first.
Okay. I'm gonna say.
I mean, like, they destroyed a city. No,
I'm gonna say.
They did. Tokyo was destroyed for this movie.
$25 million.
Okay.
That's it?
That's it.
Haley, what do you think it was?
I was thinking, like, way more than that.
Throw out a number.
40.
Don't cheat.
I shouldn't cheat.
I didn't look.
40 million.
40.
From Haylie.
Clay is the closest, not adjusted for inflation. This is estimated $19 million.
Oh wow, I was high.
Had a box.
Those
global
I know
box
that
office
like
of 81.7 million.
I know that non-American Godzilla movies tend to be made like really cheaply, and Japanese movies tend to be made really cheaply because they do like super hard crunch for their like visual effects workers.
It's true, and I could talk about production as well, but.
All right.
I'm gonna keep going with that because
that's all I have.
I have notes here. So it started production. Principal photography began in September of 2015. They wrapped filming in late September, early October, and they started VFX work in November. The movie was released in July of 2016. So
awesome.
Really quick.
Was it released?
Released in Japan.
In Japan.
So it only had a week-long theatrical run in about 400 theaters in the United States. Okay. So when we saw it this past week, this is the second theatrical run in the U.S., and it's probably also only going to be a week.
That's pretty awesome. I didn't know that.
Yes. So in the U.S., it only grossed about $2 million, which, I mean, is pretty good for 1 week in 400 theaters.
I'd like to make $2 million in a week.
No, you can by signing up for
Watch our podcast.
That too, that's better.
Watch our podcast. Give us money, please.
You have to be really cool to make that kind of money like us, though. You're not cool enough to be on the podcast. You need to smoke cigarettes, especially if you're under the age of 18.
It's true.
It makes you look really cool. You'll be cool in school also. People like that.
Am I going to have to cut this out?
No, don't cut it out.
No, keep it all
you
in.
support it too. You were saying this the other day about how more people should smoke cigarettes.
No, I never said that.
So I have some more quick fire facts here. This is the first Toho Godzilla film that is not connected to the original 1954 movie.
Okay.
So it's a completely own like timeline thing. Is the first Japanese Godzilla film to get a North American theatrical release since Godzilla 2000, which ironically came out in 1999.
Okay.
It won several awards at the 40th Japan Academy Prize Awards. So I
must have missed this year.
I'm just gonna go through all the awards that they won that year. So, picture of the year: Director of the Year, Best Cinematography, Best Art Direction, Best Lighting Direction, Best Sound Recording, Best Film Editing.
Wow.
Nominations, I'm going to butcher these names, and I'm so sorry. Hiroki Hasegawa was nominated for Actor of the Year. Satomi Ishihara and Mikako Ichikawa were nominated for Supporting Actress of the Year. It was also nominated for Best Music. So that's pretty neat.
It swept.
It swept in Japan.
For sure.
No nominations in the U.S.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
It's a Japanese movie.
It had 1 week in the U.S. So, one last little just tidbit of information, and this is not spoiling, but obviously, like, we're not in spoilers yet, but the movie does kind of set up a sequel in a sense. And the sequel's kind of been in development hell for a while, but just last month, the president of Toho International confirmed that a sequel is something that's currently maybe going to be made.
Oh, that sounds confident.
Yes. But both directors, Hideaki Anno and Shinji Higuchi, are not really interested in directing the sequel. So we'll see kind of what direction that goes.
Two Shin, two Godzilla.
Two Shin, two Godzilla.
I don't even know what they would do with a sequel. Like, I understand that they set it up, but, like, I don't know what the point would be.
Where does it go? I don't know.
Yeah.
Most Godzilla sequels, even that are, like, in the same timeline as each other, do not, like, have direct
I want
consequences on the
Shin
other story.
Mothra. Shin Mothra would be goated.
That would be awesome.
Like a 9/11 style. Like, I kept comparing this movie to United 93, where it's like very on the ground, like practical. This is how we respond to this situation. A lot of jumping around. I think that would be really funny to do with like a giant butterfly monster.
It would be really awesome.
Let's write that.
Yeah.
We're gonna write that.
Like Mothra, Shin Mothra, I would watch in a heartbeat.
Shin Mothra.
Shin Mothra. You'll also notice I said directors. There's two directors on this film.
Like the Coen brothers. That's why we paired this up with Honey Don't.
That's true.
Ben thought ahead.
I'm always thinking ahead. So Anno is most well known for his popular, very extremely popular animated series over in Japan, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Shinji Higuchi also worked on the show, and so they kind of split up the work for this movie. Anno focused more on like the camera directing, and he wrote it, and he also helped edit, while Shinji was more in charge of doing the VFX and all that sort of stuff with the directing.
Awesome.
And we'll talk about the VFX, but I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah. Do you have more stuff, or do you just want to dive into open conversation?
Basically it. The rest of what I have is mostly just like notes on things that happened in the movie.
Haylie, let's see if you remember us talking about it or if you can guess. What does Shin mean?
Oh, I don't know. I was just going to give my thoughts.
Take a guess. What do you think the Shin means?
Yes, I do have that written down.
Ben has it written down. Ben, tell us what Shin means.
Okay, Shin can have 3 different meanings. It's one of those words. It either means new, true, or God. And they kind of left it up for interpretation with this.
Oh, I thought it was because he has big legs.
Yeah, he does have big legs.
Big Shin.
Yeah. Big Booty Godzilla is what I would have called this movie, because Godzilla has a fatty in this one.
He does.
All right.
It's awesome.
Oh my gosh, I mean, if destroying cities doesn't work out, he could go to the club and make bank.
Right.
Make even more yen.
Yeah, make even more yen. Shin Godzilla, Haylie, what'd you think?
So, I think I'm in a unique position here because I've never seen any Godzilla movies ever in my life. This is my first ever Godzilla movie.
This is a really unique one to start on.
Yeah.
It's nothing like any of the
This
other
is my
Godzilla
first
movies.
ever Godzilla movie. I knew nothing about Godzilla. I literally just went to the theater and sat down and was like, let's do this thing. I really liked it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't generally the type of movie that I think that I gravitate towards, I guess, in general. But I really liked it. I thought it was really interesting. I definitely wasn't bored. I don't think I checked my watch once throughout the whole movie, which is very rare for me.
That's a win, because I was sitting here like all the like just political back and forth. Like, we're going to this office for this meeting. Now we have to have this meeting and this meeting. I was sitting there thinking, Haylie and Clay are probably so bored.
No, I really liked it.
Producer Jordan's probably so bored right
Yeah, because it
now.
was also like your first Godzilla movie, right? Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So like 2 people have never seen a Godzilla movie. I'll talk about my Godzilla experience before I talk about mine, but you can keep going, Haylie.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
I mean, you can talk.
Okay.
That's about all I have.
So I'm what I would call a basic Godzilla fan. So the Godzilla movies I've seen are the original one from the 50s, Godzilla -1, and now Shin Godzilla. Those are the Japanese ones I've seen. And then the Godzilla, the like MonsterVerse Godzilla movies, being Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, and Godzilla X Kong subtitle. And then I've seen the like bad like Joel Schumacher one, the American one, Godzilla 98.
I love it.
Yeah. So of those movies, the only one that I'm like, I love this movie is Godzilla -1, and I still like that one a good bit more than I liked Shin Godzilla, but I really like Shin Godzilla. I thought it was like a very unique take on the franchise from what I'd seen. I'm very into like political thriller type movies, and this was like that with Godzilla.
West Wing of Godzilla appeared.
Yeah. But like I said, it reminded me a lot of United 93, which is a movie that I love. And I just like in general thought it was pretty good. I thought the second half was a lot slower than the first half, or maybe even like the last third was a lot slower than the first 2/3, and that's where most of my complaints with the movie come in. But like I was like really into it for the majority of the movie. I thought it was shot very well, and it had a very unique like style. I liked how jumpy it was. It was like go. It was a very fast paced film. Like I didn't find it slow at all, even though.
Cool shots.
Do what?
There's some really cool shots.
Yeah, they always like just with like the people and like the politicians, they always organize them in very visually interesting ways. And all the shots have a ton of people in them, so I was really impressed with like how the blocking interacted with the cinematography.
Just the set design, I think.
Yeah.
Is, like,
Colors.
really good. There's like good colors, but like there's moments where like pushing copiers against the wall.
Yeah,
or,
that
like,
looked
just
great.
showing like cords of computers being plugged in.
There was a really cool
wow, this
shot
looks awesome.
where they put the camera in like a rolling chair as they were organizing rolling chairs, and so you're like POV, you are a rolling chair in an office, and that was
Yes,
fun.
there was a lot of really cool stuff like
There's
that,
a
like
shot
a
where the
POV
camera
stuff.
Yeah.
is a computer and everyone's looking at the data on it.
That
Yeah.
was neat.
Like I thought like visually that was like all really good. My big visual issue with the movie was the liquid effects. I thought looked really bad.
Yeah.
Like especially with the first, or I guess the second form of Godzilla, where he's like letting all the stuff out of his gills on the street.
The first and second forms I thought did not look great, but the third and fourth looked.
The later
really
ones
good.
looked good.
Yeah.
It's weirdly shiny.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it was supposed to be slime more so, but like I agree. Like when the blood first showed up on screen, like in the tunnel, I was like, okay.
That does not look great. And I think that, like, Godzilla's interactions with the environment didn't look great. So, like, anytime, like, he runs into, like, a bridge and a bunch of boats get, like, thrown up, or, like, when they use, like, the train bombs and they, like, go up.
I giggled at a couple of
I
times.
thought that the physics weren't right. Like, it wasn't that, like, they looked bad, like, from a modeling perspective. It was, like, the physics felt weird.
Or the boats being, like, pushed down the river, or the cars going down the street. That did look a little off.
Yeah. And I think it might have just been like a physics issue, which I mean, like Godzilla -1 was a beautiful movie, and yeah, it's a few years like older. A few years newer than Shin Godzilla. But like Shin Godzilla, what year was it? 2016. 2016. Like there were some incredible looking movies then, and like I know this was a small budget, but like that felt more like physics issues with like how liquid moves and how like a lot of objects move. But they were modeled well.
Also breaks physics. They say in the movie like, there's no way this thing can support its weight, and then he does it.
Yeah.
He just does it anyway.
But I do think the movie got a lot better as Godzilla got into when he like I don't think this is a spoiler because like it's on the poster, when he like stands up, like that is when I'm like, okay, this is visually
when
picked
it gets
up.
serious.
Yeah. But overall, I really liked it. I have some complaints that we can get into in like the spoiler section, but yeah.
We could go into spoilers because I think a lot of my thoughts also kind of derive out of spoilers.
All right, yeah. I just thought that I loved up until or through the like atomic breath scene where he like blows up Tokyo. I thought that was like a beautiful scene. He was genuinely like very intimidating there. The music was super good. It was like all beautiful. And then after that happens, Godzilla like freezes to like restore his energy.
He hibernates. He goes sleep for a little bit.
And I just thought that it really slowed down at that point. I'm comparing it to Godzilla -1 again, but like the planning phase of them, like, okay, how do we like take care of this? I just thought was a lot less interesting. It was like, I mean, like, for one, just because Godzilla was frozen for most of it, but I'm trying to think of like how to phrase it. It was less politically intriguing because it was less like, how do we respond to this, and what bureaucratic things do we have to jump through, and it became more just like, okay, well, logistically, how do we pull off freezing him from the inside out, which is like interesting. It was just a little slower, and because I thought the theme of the movie was almost like government bureaucracies, or like can be too much sometimes, and it leads to like hurting people. Because there's so many scenes where you see like 7 characters call each other all the way up to the prime minister to ask the same question.
And every time that something goes wrong, they're like, let's change conference rooms.
Yeah, conference rooms. We need a new meeting.
Press conferences, go back to the prime minister's office.
And that stuff was very funny, and I feel like that was more absent from that like last act of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say in the last act's defense, it also does introduce this ticking time bomb of the United States saying, okay, we talked with the UN, we're stepping in, we're taking over. If you can't pull this off in like 10 days, then we're just going to drop a nuke on Tokyo. Mm-hmm. And like that becomes a big point of contention. Like a big like nationalism, I think, is a pretty prevalent theme in this, in terms of like people working together as opposed to the governments working together. And so obviously there's one character that just straight up says like, I will not let them drop a 3rd bomb on my home. Mm-hmm. Like, so I think that's a really interesting beat to add in that kind of helps it move along while also taking away all the bureaucracy. Because again, like the prime minister gets completely wiped out by that laser. Like just bye-bye.
Yeah, and like I like that element, but I just feel like having like Godzilla just felt very like still for the last part of the movie, because he's either like standing still and like using like the homing lasers out of his back, or he's been like knocked over by a building and they're like pulling a bunch of trucks up to his mouth. And it's like, I feel like, not that it wasn't like actiony enough, I just feel like they kind of had to nerf Godzilla a bit for the climax to work. Because in the Tokyo like atomic breath scene, he just like decimates that city.
Yeah, what do you even do against that?
Yeah.
Like, genuinely?
Yeah, like I think it became a problem to where the stakes were the highest they were at the midpoint of the movie, and it kind of like floundered off after that. Because they were like, well, we have to nerf him, so let's say that he's like used up all of his radiation, and then that'll give us a chance to beat him. Which I
think is a fair enough in-universe explanation, but as a viewer, you kind of want more from Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, but like that was like, I still enjoy the ending. That was a relatively minor problem. It just like I was not as engaged with it near the end as I was up through the midpoint and a little beyond that.
I would say in terms of like designs, this is, I think, up there, maybe even my favorite design for Godzilla.
Really?
He looks really good. His beady little eyes are very scary. His tail laser is like insane.
Yeah.
He looks awesome. Like,
I liked that he had like the club on his tail. Is that a thing in other versions of Godzilla?
No. So normally he just has like the pointy lizard tail.
His tail is also really long.
Yeah.
It was. That's also another new thing.
Yeah.
And I really liked seeing him like evolve.
That's also really cool.
Yeah, because like I did not know that was a thing in this movie. So when Godzilla first gets on land, and it's like this like freaky like lungfish
I was literally
thing.
like, what am I watching right now?
I was like, is this a different monster?
I was like, dude, I have never seen a Godzilla movie before. I'm literally like, what is going... I was like, that is not what Godzilla is supposed to look like.
That's not something I remember from any of the other movies, because there's like 5 stages of Godzilla in this, or I think 5 or 6.
Up until -1, this is the first Godzilla movie since like way long ago that Godzilla does not fight another monster, which I think is really neat. But it is like a cool little fake out where you're like, oh, that's not Godzilla, and then he stands up and you're like, oh, that is Godzilla.
Yeah.
What?
But yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else. Y'all have more thoughts?
Another random complaint I have that I know that we talked about in the car on the way home is, I know this is not our fault because we don't speak Japanese. There were way too many, like, text on the screens that were not long enough to where, like, you had to choose between reading the dialogue or reading the text that is on the screen.
Yeah.
And, like, I chose the dialogue most of the time.
The text on the screen was mostly lower thirds of, like, character, job description.
But it was,
description.
it was on there for, like, literally, like, 2 seconds.
Because almost every scene has, like, the built-in pre-lap of this is who this is or this is where we are. And then the subtitles are, because of those being at the bottom, the subtitles have to go up here whenever that's down there. And when they go away, the subtitles jump back down to the bottom. So not only are you bouncing back and forth constantly, you're being asked to, in the span of, like, 2 seconds, understand the shot that you're seeing, read the subtitle, and, like, get the pre-lap.
And then also you want to look at the person in the frame, too.
Yeah.
So
I love, like, I watch all kinds of foreign movies. This is the first one I've, like, struggled to comprehend all the information. And so after the first, like, 10 minutes, I just stopped even trying to read the pre-laps. Because I was like, I can figure out who this person is through what they're saying in their dialogue or where we are. And, like, after a while, they're just kind of repeating the same ones over and over again. But it was, early in the movie, it was very overstimulating.
I was stressed out.
Because they're also cutting a lot. Like, this movie moves really fast.
Okay, I do have just kind of one last little thing that I thought was really neat. So they named the plan to, like, freeze Godzilla's blood Yashiori, which is a sake that a god used to, like, help kill an eight-headed and eight-tailed serpent in Japanese mythology called Orochi. And so I was reading up on the mythology because I was like, maybe this has something interesting. And one of the translations I read describes the serpent, and it says here, when you look at its belly, you see blood oozing out everywhere, which I thought maybe intentional with all the blood coming out of Godzilla's lungs early on in the movie. I just thought that was, like, a really neat detail.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
I thought that was super cool.
That was literally insane.
And also,
it's freaky again.
This movie has a third release coming out in the United States.
Really?
As we all know, Godzilla -1 had -1 color come out. This one has Shin Godzilla Orthochromatic, which is a black and white version, which is coming out at the end of the month in U.S. theaters.
Wow.
That's interesting. I don't know if that one is really necessary because Godzilla -1 feels kind of like a throwback, I guess, to the original movie in like style and tone, whereas this is like a completely new take,
especially
like this more
doing
grounded.
it so
and
soon.
with -1, they didn't just like slap a filter on it. They like completely sat there and recolored the entire film.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if they did the same for Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
You went and saw the recolored
I did. I've
-1.
only seen -1 without color.
Yes.
And I think it's perfect.
Compared to -1, Shin Godzilla is also a lot more like naturalistic lighting. It looks like a lot of the outdoor scenes are just like daylight. Yes. There's a lot of like just office buildings, so like it looks good, but it's like that is the style, and so it's not like high contrast, so I don't really know what a black and white
unless
version
they're
would
doing the
add.
exact same thing as -1 did and sitting there and like painstakingly recoloring the entire movie. I don't know if it's gonna look the same. We have A-list. I'm gonna go see it if I have a chance, just because why not?
Because also most of the movie, which I kind of liked because it was surprising, like takes place in like broad daylight. Like outside of the atomic breath scene, I think most of the big action scenes are like it's just like noon and the sky is blue.
Something different from a movie like Cloverfield.
Yeah, there's not like any night scenes really.
Yeah, outside of the atomic breath scene, like everything's daytime.
Was again beautiful.
Yeah, and that's why I thought that scene stood out even more, which I liked. Ben, one more Godzilla lore question. Okay. Are the like homing missiles on the back of Godzilla's back a new thing here?
That's new. So is the tail laser.
Okay,
that's
cool.
Not something Godzilla's ever done. Legendary Godzilla, his like dorsal plates do light up, but I don't think they shoot lasers. I don't think I've seen them shoot lasers.
Purple laser.
Had he lit up pink before? Because I know he lights up pink in the New Empire, but that came out after.
This is the only time I think he's gone purple.
Yeah, the purple lasers were cool,
which I thought was really neat. I like the suit itself, like not the suit. The design itself is a reference to the original suit. So I like, in the original movie, he breathes fire. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have an atomic breath. He breathes fire. So I thought that was something really neat that he starts out by breathing fire and then it focuses more into the purple laser.
Yeah.
Something that was cool. Fun fact, they did build like upper body puppets and figures and models for this, but they decided to scrap it and go fully CGI.
There was one shot that was
it
like
was done with motion capture.
Okay. There was one shot that was like a low angle shot where like there were some trees and power lines in the foreground, and it was like Godzilla's like here up, like, or for audio listeners, right below his neck up. And I was like, shot. I thought that was like a suit because it looked like rubbery and good, and I was like, oh, he looks really good here. There were a few shots where he didn't quite blend in with the environment, and I was like, you could have used like a suit during this. But I thought like once you got past those first two phases, he looked pretty good overall.
Alright.
He looks good. He's a good-looking Godzilla.
Do we want to give our ratings?
Yes. Ben, what did you think of Shin Godzilla?
I gave Shin Godzilla a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
I loved it. I think thematically it's really good. It's a not-so-subtle criticism of Japanese bureaucracy and governments, especially. This was directly inspired by the 2011 earthquake tsunami that caused the nuclear disaster, and the kind of lack thereof response from the government, and also just American overreach that's been a thing happening in Japan since, the end of the World War,
Yeah. Cool. Haylie, what do you think?
I give it a 7 out of 10. That might be low. I don't know. I don't know what you.
I thought it would be from Haylie.
You thought? Okay, I really liked it. I mean, I don't really have many complaints. I thought it was really interesting. It doesn't make me itch to watch the rest of them, but it doesn't make me anti-watching the rest of them. If that makes
this one is
any sense.
Super different from most of the
I might want to watch -1.
That's one
that I.
That's the one
that I might want to watch. Yeah.
I mean, as a casual Godzilla person, that's the one that I would say everyone should just start with.
Yeah.
Unless you just really want to start with the 50s, the original 50s one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with Haylie. I'm also giving Shin Godzilla a 7 out of 10. I really liked it. It's probably my third favorite Godzilla movie. My favorite is Godzilla -1. I like the 50s one just because it's the 50s one and it's really good. And then I'd probably place this right under that. Ben, as the resident Godzilla expert.
How many Godzilla movies have you seen? That's my question. You probably said so earlier.
Yeah, it was.
It was 10.
It was Shin
right?
Godzilla, Godzilla -1, the 50s Godzilla, the 98 one, and then the Monsterverse, which is Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. I might be missing one, but...
Okay, I have watched 23.
Yeah.
I watched 23 of them. I put this number 2 on my list because I don't want to recency bias myself into having it number 1. -1 is still up there, followed after by Godzilla vs. Hedorah from the 70s.
Very cool, very cool. And then Haylie, where would you put it on your Godzilla ranking?
Probably number 1. It's kind of tough, though.
You really liked it, didn't you?
It's tough. I really liked it. I was a big fan.
All right. Well...
So speaking of monsters that are really hard to see in the dark...
Yeah. T.J. Miller stars in Cloverfield. Cloverfield is a 2008 movie directed by Matt Reeves. Oh, wait, actually, say, Clay, what's Cloverfield about? Tell us about Cloverfield.
Clay, what's Cloverfield about?
Cloverfield is a 2008 movie directed by Matt Reeves. It was produced by J.J. Abrams and written by Drew Goddard. Who went on to create the Daredevil TV show, which is really good, and I'm in love with it.
I didn't know that.
Yes, Drew Goddard.
We're just going to talk about Daredevil.
Now, so Daredevil is the best show ever made.
I quit.
Let me pull up my. You got to talk about Godzilla for 25 minutes.
We agreed to let me talk about
Daredevil.
We agreed to let me talk about Godzilla.
So, anyways, Cloverfield is a 2008 found footage monster movie. It is very similar to Godzilla. A lot of people refer to it as an American kaiju movie. It follows a group of friends who go to a going away party in New York City. Right during in New York City, and that during that party, an alien appears, a big alien, really tall, and it starts destroying a bunch of buildings in New York, which is an unseen thing for the city. And everyone starts dying and having to run away, and they're like, the towers are falling down.
Not the first time.
The first time that's happened.
This movie is a very, very subtle reference to
the Oklahoma City bombing. And so, but everyone's dying. It's terrible. This group of friends is like, oh my gosh.
You could almost say it's a Cloverfield.
All right. One of them says, hey, I left my girlfriend back at the apartment because she got mad at me and ran away. Let's run to the big monster and find her. So they have to get back to her big apartment building and rescue her without getting stepped on by the big monster's foot or eaten by the little monsters or shot by the government or getting fallen on by debris or a giant flying Statue of Liberty head. A lot of stuff that can go wrong.
There's
rats.
Your average day on Staten Island.
Yeah,
honestly,
exactly.
yeah. Someone from New York, it's just kind of your average day.
Yeah, I was wondering how long until you bring up that you were from New York.
All
so,
right.
Haylie, how accurate was
episode
this?
and a half.
Tell us, did you have any Cloverfield New York accuracy notes?
I mean, no.
Wow.
100%
accurate, says Haylie.
I mean, they filmed
this
most of it in New York.
Yeah, New York and LA.
I would say.
So before I get into some crazy Cloverfield facts, this is our just recurring segment, Crazy Cloverfield Facts. What did y'all think about Cloverfield 2008, starring T.J. Miller, who famously has done nothing bad?
Well, speaking of monsters, no, I really liked it. It was more humorous than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
There was one moment that really had me cracking up. But then again, if you make one solid joke, I'm sold. I'm very easy to please. There's some really neat visual things. I like the found footage, and this is something I wanted to kind of bring up with Shin Godzilla. Is like there's a lot of found footage used in that as well, like iPhone footages. So I think that kind of works well. I think found footage is one of those gimmicks where, unlike screen life, if you do it well, it looks really good. Like this Blair Witch Project, I'm sure there's others, but most other found footage, like The Office.
Well, this isn't found footage; it's mockumentary.
Yeah.
Someone found that footage.
That's true, right? Yeah, I agree. I think that this is one of the better found footage movies.
But I thought it was nice to like
Creep.
Creep's really
well,
good.
that's not nice to say about Ben.
All right.
Creep 2. It was
Creep 2 over here.
It was a good way to kind of hide poor CGI, using darkness, using grainy camcorder footage.
That's what Disney does with their live action remakes.
That's how they made The Lion King.
Yeah.
Actually, they just threw a guy with a camcorder into the savannah and said, "Have fun."
Haylie, what'd you think?
I really, really liked it. I wasn't really sure what to expect going into this. This was also my first time watching this movie, my first time watching all three of these movies this week.
Wow. I'd be shocked if you'd seen Honey Don't before. But I guess you did watch Drive Away Dolls.
I am a lesbian, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that should have been your movie. We could have each had our own thing. Me, Cloverfield, because I'm a Cloverfield fan. Ben, Godzilla, because he's a Godzilla fan. You, the lesbian film, because you're a lesbian fan.
I'm a lesbian, exactly.
Oh, yeah, a lesbian also. I was going to say a fan.
Lesbian. I mean, both.
Yeah, I'm a fan of lesbians because I'm an ally.
Okay.
That's right.
You guys just high-fived over the lesbian.
Yeah, I know. You were supposed to join up and...
Yeah. Pride.
Yeah, Pride.
Woke or Miscast.
Woke or Miscast. I actually think I'm going to make my own lesbian
That's
film
gonna be
in order to be an ally. Yeah. Anyways, tell us about Cloverfield, Haylie. What did you think about
What are your
it?
thoughts on it?
I really liked it.
You started talking about lesbians and stuff, which is very on brand for you.
I got distracted. I really, really liked it. I thought the found footage was great. I didn't even know that this was a found footage film.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit confused at the beginning. I did not know what to expect going into this. I had never seen it. Hadn't really heard much about it, but knew people that had seen it and liked it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any complaints. I had a good time.
Yeah. I've always really liked this movie. This is probably my third or fourth time seeing the first Cloverfield. I'm a big Cloverfield franchise fan, but not because of the first one, which we'll get into. There's a lot to talk about here. A lot of people really, really love this movie.
Yes.
Our friend Madison is
that was how
absolutely,
I had known about it.
Yes, she is obsessed with Cloverfield. Yeah, I really like it. I mean, it's not like the most incredible movie ever, but it's a really solid found footage movie.
Pretty good.
And before I say it, guess the budget for Cloverfield.
Probably pretty high, right?
I'm gonna say 15 million.
Okay, Haylie Bud, what do you think?
I feel like I'm gonna overshoot it again.
Take your time because I'm fact checking myself because I have it in my head because I know this for a while.
While Clay fact checks and Haylie thinks.
I'm not gonna overshoot it. 18.
So you said what?
15.
It is 25 to $30
I was gonna say
million.
23.
Wow.
Around 25 to 30
I was gonna say
million.
23.
They said
Way
that
off.
they wanted to make a $30 million movie that looks like a $150 million movie, and they did that by casting like basically nobodies because like at the time all of these actors were like nobodies. I know like some of them.
I
Miller is
recognize
still
the
in
one
it.
guy, right?
T.J.
Or you
Miller was
recognize the
still a
one guy?
nobody.
Yeah, the one guy who's in a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
With all these nobodies, I really liked the cameo from Bob Odenkirk when he came and fought the monster
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
on the bus.
monster was like, "Who are you?"
And he said, "I'm nobody." But
So,
yeah.
I wrote some quick notes about Cloverfield, just some fun little clips I had in mind while watching the movie. It's 2008 because the gorillas were there.
Okay. This has been stand-up comedy hour.
This is true. I wrote, the movie has a lot of faith in New York City's power grid. Because the power flickers on and off like 400 times.
Yeah,
It
it wouldn't
keeps
turn
coming
back on. It wouldn't turn back on in real life. No
I
shot.
just wrote SpongeBob with 3 exclamation points.
Yes, that's
There
how you know
was
it's a Paramount
SpongeBob.
movie, because the SpongeBob was in a non-Paramount movie.
There
The
also
director was
was-
shot and killed.
Sorry, there was also like a lot of like random product placement, like in the background of
Mountain
stuff.
Dew, Sephora.
No, there was like
Slusho?
Panasonic? No, Panasonic was Honey Don't.
I
the
was
air
confused
conditioner.
about what was it supposed to be in 2008?
Yes,
I think
it
so.
is
Like,
set in
It
2008.
was set in 2008.
Mhm. It's set over the course of 2 days in 2008.
Okay. There was like something on the back. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm like confusing movies.
Yeah.
There was something in the back of Honey Don't.
It was the Panasonic air conditioner.
No, there was something else that I was
That's what I
like.
kept noticing.
There was something in the back. It was like a drink that it was like a poppy or something that I was like, why is that there? Like,
I get the
was like-
confusion.
I was like,
They're both
There was a lot of
movies
Mountain
with
Dews
like
in
big
there.
giant aliens,
Right,
so like I
right,
understand
right.
the
It's
confusion.
true.
what?
I also wrote here, and behold, a pale horse. His name that sat on him was Death. Yeah.
Nerd. Talking about Macbeth and reading Bible quotes or whatever.
That's true. I also wrote, why is it called Cloverfield? And Clay, I was hoping you could illuminate me there.
Because so the real reason that the in-universe it's called like the Cloverfield incident is because the monster is named Clover. In reality,
Well, who named him that?
it was like the U.S.
Did we
government.
talk to the monster's
Oh,
mom?
I've got a lot of lore to tell you when we want to get into that.
Can the monster talk?
But in
Is it like,
the monster cannot talk.
Clover?
In reality, it's because there was like a street sign that J.J. Abrams used to pass that's like was called like Cloverfield Way or something like that, and he just liked the title.
Well, there's a movie called Cloverfield Lane, so I assume
They're
it might
related.
have been Cloverfield
Yes,
Lane.
yes, we're going to
Way.
get into that. So Cloverfield is one of many, many titles that this film went through because of its viral marketing campaign. So Cloverfield was the original title, but when they released the first teaser, they didn't have a title for it. It was released in front of, I think, Transformers. And
The original Transformers?
The 2007 Transformers movie. They released this teaser trailer that was very mysterious, had a lot of weird hidden clues in it, and it didn't say the title. The second teaser was released in front of Beowulf, and that's where they revealed the Cloverfield title. But throughout production, the title went from...
This dude's talking about Beowulf.
Okay, all right now. The title went from Cloverfield to Slusho to Cheese, and then there was another one called Gray Cheese.
What is Slusho?
We're gonna get to that. So Gray Shot was almost the final title, but then they went back to Cloverfield for the final title, which is why the movie's called Cloverfield now, and the monster is called the Clover Monster.
New York City is his old playfield.
Yes,
just
I'm trying to figure out how to condense all of this information because there's a lot to go through. Before I get into the lore, I do just want to give a couple of little production things. Most of the movie is shot on actual camcorders, and T.J. Miller actually shot about a third of the movie.
Wow.
So like he's behind the camera for basically the entire movie outside the first few scenes. Yeah, there is a DP.
T.J. Miller. He was
Or
very
is it
dedicated.
T.J. Miller?
As a character, he is very dedicated to just holding the camera. He was handed it at a party and just watched the apocalypse.
Cinematography is by a guy named Michael Bonvillain, which sounds like Doctor No. Sounds like he decided to become a cinematographer and she gave a fake name.
It should be James Bondvillain.
James Bondvillain, not Michael Bondvillain. So, anyways. Can we get into spoilers? Because
we can get into spoilers.
I'd say so.
Okay, so
SpongeBob was there.
one cool little thing is that they showed Steven Spielberg an early cut of this movie, and he was like, "I really liked it. It really freaked me out, But I think the audience is going to want to know what happened to the monsters. So at the end of the film, they added in the sound of like a countdown and like the air raid sirens during the bombing, so that audience members like could guess that they just like bombed the monster.
I assume they dropped a nuclear weapon on it. Which is what they wanted to do to Shin Godzilla.
That's the assumption. Maybe not nuclear weapon, but a big bomb.
We love dropping warheads on giant monsters.
But that was
the American government. Were this to happen in real life, would not hesitate to drop a nuke the second they see a giant monster. We've been itching to drop nukes since the Cold War.
You're right.
We got a taste of blood back in the 40s, and we haven't wanted to stop.
I would kill the monster and serve it in a restaurant. Like, that's a lot of meat on there. Like, you could have a pretty good restaurant.
You could, like, end world hunger with the monster.
You could. Everyone come get your Clover. But yeah, so Steven Spielberg was the note behind adding that in. So sometimes he gives really good notes, sometimes he gives really bad notes, like telling them not to kiss at the end of Twisters. This movie, it has a lot of shaky cam in it, so people were getting sick during the movie. So during the film's initial theatrical run, they added some theaters added warnings.
Are you serious?
Yes, that were like, hey, this movie might make you motion sick because there's a lot of running holding the camera.
That's interesting because I get very motion sick and I didn't feel like that.
Yeah,
I guess like the big screen like might be different.
Yeah,
but like
this movie really affected some people. That was like one of the famous things about it was that it made people sick watching it. So do we want to talk about the sequels and their weird history, or do we want to talk about the lore first?
I just want to say that thing I said about the pale horse was not just some random note. There is actually just a lone pale horse wandering through the streets of New York in the movie.
Yeah.
Thought it was cool.
Like a horse and buggy thing from
that
like
also
Central Park or whatever.
happens in the movie The Monkey.
Yeah. When the big monkey pulling the chariot walks through the city.
There's a horse with a skeleton after a plane falls out of the sky.
That's true.
Really cool.
But yeah, sequels or lore? What do y'all want to hear about first? Because there's some interesting things here.
I think let's talk about the lore.
All right. So before this movie came out, like I said, there was the really vague teaser. There were a lot of like hints and clues and weird stuff. So this movie had a viral marketing campaign and an ARG, which I think stands for like alternate reality game, augmented reality game. And so before details about the movie were released and leading up to the movie's actual theatrical release, there were a lot of online communities dedicated to learning more about the movie, and so the production company set up like fake MySpace accounts for all the characters. There were fake websites with like hidden clues on it. All the teasers had clues in it. And so the movie gives no explanation for like where the monster came from or like what caused it. Mm-hmm. Through this alternate reality game, the backstory of the Clover monster is revealed. So basically, the gist of it is that there's this big Japanese mega corporation that has like an
Weyland-Yutani?
Not Weyland-Yutani, but they have a like oil drilling segment, a consumer product segment, and a like space segment. Weyland-Yutani and a xenomorph segment.
Xenomorph.
So what they do is
and one with predators. It's got T.J. Miller in it.
Exactly. And that's verified.
You can cut that bit if you want.
So basically what happens is one of the space, a piece of satellite from one of their like space satellites, as they're famously called, falls into the ocean. So this Japanese company has...
Is that what falls into the
ocean? We're going to get to that.
The satellite?
We're going to get to that because there's a lot of controversy and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on it.
It was the monster.
So that company decides to go looking around in the ocean for it. While they're looking, they discover this like sea foam type substance that is like addictive and tastes really good. So using their oil drilling things as a cover, they start harvesting this stuff and putting it in slushies called Slusho, which is one of the potential titles. The Slusho drink can also be seen in a lot of J.J. Abrams' work, so it's in like Lost and other J.J. Abrams things.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
It's actually in Star Trek. One of the characters orders a Slusho. And so it's super addictive. You can see like a Slusho truck, I think, in this movie, and maybe some other elements. They also appear in the other Cloverfield movies.
I will say I'm glad they didn't name it Slusho, because having to have like gone through that whole like online whatever to just even understand the title. Like the title already is kind of confusing, but it's like memorable enough. I feel like if you call it maybe Slusho, you're expecting some like
comedy.
Yeah.
Kids comedy.
But I feel like I'm explaining Five Nights at Freddy's lore because I'm talking about like an evil company using like addictive slushies.
I'm so excited for Five Nights at Freddy's too.
All right.
I get to explain Five Nights at Freddy's lore.
Oh, that will be an episode that will be 7 hours long.
So I was gonna be there.
So anyways, this substance that they're harvesting is actually a substance that a giant underwater monster feeds on. That is the Clover monster, which is a baby and it's still growing.
That's a little scary.
Yeah. And so once enough of it is taken, this monster comes out of the sea and destroys the oil rig, and that was covered up as like a volcanic disruption or something by the Japanese company. And the Clover monster makes its way to New York and starts destroying things. Now, does anyone remember what the party was that the characters were going to at the beginning of the film?
It was a going away party for Rob, who was moving to Japan.
He was moving to Japan. He was moving to work for this evil company. A character in the second movie is working for like the satellite branch of it. That's John Goodman's character in 10 Cloverfield Lane. And all of the characters in the third movie are working for it because that one takes place in space and is basically an alien ripoff. So at the end of the movie, which we all like, I pointed out to you, they cut back to a month early. I think it's a month earlier.
Because he's like recording over the old tape.
Yeah.
So it's cutting back and forth.
Yeah. And it's the main character and Beth. I don't remember the main character's name. The main character and Beth are on Rob and Beth are on like a Ferris wheel at Coney Island or some like New York thing.
It's Coney Island.
Coney Island. And then something like subtly falls in the background and splashes into the water. So people who have just watched the movie initially assumed, oh, that's the Cloverfield monster. And it just like fell, that's like an asteroid that fell from space. A few, like, because that matches up, maybe it was underwater for a month and then it came out. Problems with that is that if it was a monster that big that collapsed in the ocean from space, that would probably destroy New York City. Mm-hmm. So that's an issue with that. However,
maybe he was a really tiny monster
and grew, which the confirmed explanation from that augmented reality game is that you're seeing the part of the satellite.
Okay.
The story issue with that is that the company unless I'm misinterpreting it, I could be like remembering it wrong. I refresh myself. That
they created an entire like global slushy company
in a month. Yeah, that's a problem. And maybe I've always like
so
the Wikipedia page says it's a month. I don't know if the in text of the movie says that the Coney Island thing was a month ago.
Like, I guess that's not like impossible,
yes, because
but
at
it's
the last
like
scene he says it's May, and the bottom like time code
April.
Says April.
Okay, so that's a problem. That was like the official canon explanation for a long, long time. 15 years after I think it was 2023.
Is this canon through Matt Reeves?
Through J.J. Abrams. It was canon through J.J. Abrams.
Well, him and his old mystery box never knows what's going on.
Yeah. So in 2023, Matt Reeves came out, the director, and confirmed that the thing that falls into the ocean is actually the Clover monster, and that the satellite thing is not what you're seeing fall in the ocean. Huh. Which, if that's the case, then all of this like Japan satellite stuff might not be canon, even though it's still that company and the Slusho brand actually exists within the world of Cloverfield.
There's no reason for it to not be canon,
yeah.
But I do feel like if that was the satellite, that's not very far off shore.
Well, the problem then is if the alien only fell into the water a month ago, then the whole company building up this global slushy brand wouldn't have happened because it's finding the food source of the Clover monster, and that's why the Clover monster
So either
attacks.
way, it doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't perfectly line up.
And it should have taken place perhaps a year or two before.
So those are two stories. They're two theories. However, the third Cloverfield, which is why I asked if we want to do lore or sequels first, because they're both a lot of overlapping. So there's the Cloverfield movie. I know, this is where it gets really weird.
It's like running a marathon and you're sitting on a couch.
Cloverfield 2008. Cloverfield 2008 came out. Everyone is interested in a sequel.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Cloverfield 2008 came out. J.J. Abrams, Drew Goddard, and Matt Reeves are all interested in a sequel. Matt Reeves has this idea of, these probably weren't the only people recording. Let's tell a story about another group that was recording the Attack of the Clover Monster. So when the main characters in this movie go to the Brooklyn Bridge, there's a point where T.J. Miller points the camera at another guy who points the camera at them. Yeah. So Matt Reeves' idea was, let's make a sequel about that group and see what they were up to during the Clover attack.
The same actors?
I assume so. And it was just going to be at some point during the... Like, Matt Reeves was like, this is the point where the two movies intersect.
Imagine being an extra and just, like, getting called back.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, you happen to be in this scene. You're now the main actor.
He talked about this for, like, a very long time. So, like, I think it's something Matt Reeves really wanted to do. That never panned out. So instead of ever making a proper Cloverfield sequel, the Cloverfield franchise became like in the sci-fi, cosmic horror anthology series.
Yeah.
So the first
from
sequel...
what I understand, the Cloverfield monster is not in any of the other Cloverfield movies.
Kind of. So 10 Cloverfield Lane is the second movie in the Cloverfield franchise, and that movie is about a girl gets into a car crash, gets rescued by John Goodman, and wakes up in the bunker. And John Goodman is like, the apocalypse happened, don't leave this house.
Himself.
And the main... What?
Mr. Gemstone.
Mr. Gemstone himself. And it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead is the main actress, and she's like, is John Goodman telling me the truth, or is he trying to hold me hostage? So that was an independent script, an independent horror sci-fi script. The Cloverfield franchise bought it and added in Cloverfield elements to it. So it changed John Goodman's character to have worked for the Cloverfield company. The ending is entirely different, which I'm not going to spoil it. I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. Like, that is my favorite movie in the Cloverfield franchise by a mile.
I do remember when it came out, it was a little controversial.
It's very controversial. I like it. I do think that the ending is the worst part of it, but before, like, the first, like, hour and a half, I'm in love with.
It sounds like a really
It's a super interesting psychological thriller that I think probably would have been a better movie if it wasn't associated with Cloverfield, but I don't think it's significantly hurt by being part of Cloverfield. That one does not add much to the lore. The one that adds a lot to the lore is the third movie, The Cloverfield Paradox, which is maybe one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It had this, much like the first movie.
Worse than the Minecraft movie?
Do what?
Worse than the Minecraft movie?
Yes, I hate that movie so much. It's like my least favorite movie of whatever year it came out. It also had an interesting marketing campaign to where at the Super Bowl in 2018, they revealed that the movie existed by releasing a trailer at the Super Bowl, and the trailer ends with "Out Tonight." So nobody had heard of this movie before. They reveal it during the Super Bowl, and it comes out after the game. So like I went home.
Oh, yes, streaming is a thing.
It came out on Netflix, and it was
It's
like
not a
complete
theatrical
secret.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I know it was a wild marketing campaign, and it was incredibly
worked,
hyped.
right?
Yeah, well, it was a big movie when it came to Netflix.
The Super Bowl is like the most watched event.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
and it's just like a movie that had never been heard of.
So they just like dropped a bunch of money on one ad, I guess.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Kinda
had
genius.
Yeah. I had never there was so that movie was another movie that was bought. The script was originally called The God Particle. They bought it for Cloverfield, and like everyone knew that there was another Cloverfield movie in development, but like nobody knew when it was coming out or really anything about it besides the fact that the like temporary title was The God Particle. And so then boom, you're at the Super Bowl. The Cloverfield Paradox is revealed. I ran home and watched it as soon as the game was over. And I realized they did that marketing strategy because the Cloverfield Paradox is really, really bad. It is a really bad Alien ripoff.
They didn't want to do press tours or anything.
There is just nothing good about it. Almost nothing redeemable. There is basically no reason to watch it.
I do want to ask, do Matt Reeves or J.J. Abrams have anything to do with the sequels?
I don't know about J.J. Abrams. Matt Reeves didn't return to direct them. 10 Cloverfield Lane was the theatrical directorial debut of Dan Trachtenberg, who went on to do Prey and Predator Killer of Killers and now Predator Badlands.
I still need to see those other two.
I don't remember who directed Cloverfield Paradox, but whoever directed it probably should not direct anything else. Whoever wrote it shouldn't direct anything else. It's really, really bad. So the
Matt Reeves went on to make the Batman,
the Planet of the Apes trilogy. Matt Reeves is awesome.
He's amazing. Shout out him.
Shout out Drew Goddard for making Daredevil and a bunch of other stuff.
Oh sure.
But
shout out J.J. Abrams for the Rise of Skywalker.
To wrap up this long diatribe about the Cloverfield franchise, Cloverfield Paradox is about there's an energy crisis on Earth, so the Japanese company sends a group to space.
That Interstellar?
No, it is also kind of an Interstellar ripoff. It's a ripoff. It's like a bunch of things, but really bad. But anyway, so they send this group of like space truckers to space, like Alien, and they're trying to fix it. They create something. They split a particle to create the Cloverfield paradox, which basically just means that parallel universes merge. So they go to a different Earth. They find themselves on the space station. There's some like characters have duplicates. And then at the end of the movie, a bunch of bad stuff happens at the spaceship. Some of the characters get away in an escape pod, and they go to Earth. The space pod crash lands on the escape pod crash lands into the ocean, and a big monster pops up from behind the clouds, and that's where the movie ends. So the new canon
lands outside of Coney Island.
That is
2008.
That is the prime theory, because it very much seems like. Because that monster is not the Clover monster, I don't think, but it looks very similar to it, almost like it's like the mother of the Clover monsters, as the Clover monster's a baby.
To be completely honest with you,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have to censor this, but that is so fucking stupid.
It's so dumb. So they almost were trying to retcon a new explanation for what that thing crashing into the ocean is, and that the Cloverfield 2008 universe is the parallel universe from the Cloverfield paradox that the main characters travel to. Cloverfield paradox is really, really bad. But, so there are now 3 theories for what the spaceship is. There's a lot of debate online, or what the crashing thing is. There's a lot of debate online. I just explained it all like a nerd. But do y'all have...
comments what you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
We have to engagement farm. We didn't say remember to like and subscribe.
Yeah. But so...
Follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
They've all been confirmed as canon at different points, because Paradox confirms the shuttles theory, Matt Reeves has confirmed the alien theory, and the augmented reality game confirms the satellite theory. Do y'all have... I know you're new to this franchise, and this is your first time seeing it, but you've heard some of this lore.
Yes.
Do y'all have, like, a preferred theory between the 3 of these?
I think, why can't it just be the alien falling from space?
Mm-hmm.
Who cares about physics? It's a monster movie. None of them make sense. They don't have to. They're just fun. Yeah, they can have good themes, but at the end of the day, what we're really there for is to watch a giant monster destroy some shit.
Yeah.
And then I think that's what life should be about.
I agree with Ben. I think it's probably the monster, but I think that for fans of the franchise, I think that the fact that it could be up to interpretation was a fun decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that folks who might be fans of the franchise who might think that it would be the spaceship or whatnot, I think that's fun, and I think that's fine.
Yeah. I got into this franchise when 10 Cloverfield Lane came out, and I thought it was very appealing, all of this, there's all this lore and theories to it. And so at the time, I really liked the theory that it was this Japanese company, because I'm like, there's this broader story that might get hinted at in future Cloverfield movies. And then the Cloverfield paradox came out and ruined all that, and I don't care anymore, and I just am fine with it being the alien. So that's the Cloverfield franchise so far. So there's 2 other Cloverfield projects. There's one called Overlord that is a really good movie with Wyatt Russell and a bunch of other actors. It's a movie about a group from World War II that goes to a German village and discovers this crazy sci-fi zombie horror stuff. It was for a very, very long time a Cloverfield movie. Then the Cloverfield paradox was really, really bad, so they removed the Cloverfield branding and just released it as Overlord. So you can watch Overlord, and it works as a Cloverfield movie in the sense that it's an anthology movie with some similar themes, but they cut all the Cloverfield stuff because Cloverfield paradox was so bad. So that is a really good movie. I like it more than the original Cloverfield, so I would recommend watching that, and it's just an interesting piece of Cloverfield media. It came out in 2019, I think.
What's the other one?
The other one is a movie that's in development. So they, as of I think April 2025,
Hit or Miss Productions.
Hit or Miss Productions is making a new Cloverfield movie. But as of 2025, or April 2025, I think was the last that was said about it.
Podcast is where all the lore drops happen.
Exactly.
So you better watch and be intent.
But they are making a direct sequel to the first Cloverfield movie. So the one we just watched. So it's not going to be 10 Cloverfield Lane or the Cloverfield Paradox. It's Cloverfield 2.
So we will get to see the monster again.
So nobody really knows. There's a director and a writer attached. I don't have it pulled up. The director has done nothing I've ever heard of, and the writer hasn't really done anything I've ever heard of. But sometime in the near future, they were trying to make Cloverfield 2 for a long time. It never happened. It seems like it's finally back on track and will happen.
It seemed like the more reasonable step than just buying scripts that had nothing to do with the with the monster and then just slapping the name Cloverfield on it.
It was kind of cool as a Twilight Zone, but with movies where it's these independent stories that kind of have this theme. Because 10 Cloverfield Lane is very, very loosely connected to Cloverfield. It's not really a sequel at all. There's similar elements, but it's not the Clover monster is there, and it's building a lot of lore. It's just little hints. So I really liked it when it was this is an anthology sci-fi horror series inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. But then Paradox tried to kind of retrofit all of that to work together. But they're making a direct sequel. I don't know if it's going to be found footage. I don't know if it's going to be the same event or if it's going to follow Matt Reeves' original idea.
Shot on iPhone, but the same 28 years later. Shot on iPhone.
But Cloverfield fans rejoice. A 4th Cloverfield movie is coming out, and hopefully it'll redeem the franchise. I don't really care anything about a proper Cloverfield sequel because I don't really know what they're going to do with it. I prefer the anthology series. But, I mean, I'm going to watch it because it's been, like, now, 17 years or something since the first Cloverfield movie?
Yeah, something like that.
And by the time it comes out, it might be 20.
I might watch the other Cloverfield movies.
I highly, highly recommend everyone should watch 10 Cloverfield Lane.
This makes me might want to watch that.
I've seen it, like, 6 or 7 times. And it would make for a very interesting conversation because it's so controversial.
I do want to bring up, because I forgot to talk about this when we were just actually talking about Cloverfield and not all the
all the lore.
All the
I'm done, by the way. It's
I was
over.
going to say when we were done with the lore, if we want to very quickly, I don't even know what time it is or how long we've been talking, but if we want to go back to
the monster design, I think is like it's cool, you know.
It's
but
weird.
It did start this weird trend of like long-limbed little beasties that you see in monster movies from then on out. Godzilla 2014 has the Mutos or whatever they call
alien
them.
things.
Look just like that.
There was like a long-legged creature in that Nicolas Cage movie that came out last year.
Long legs.
Those little spider guys reminded me of facehuggers from Alien.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, this movie, J.J. Abrams wanted to make like an American Godzilla. I think like I remember even like reading that like he was like looking at toys with like his kid or something, and he saw like all these kaiju toys, and he was like, King Kong isn't cool enough. Let's make our own guy who's just like evil. So then they made Cloverfield.
You just made him kind of like out of skin. He just kind of looks like flesh, like Godzilla.
It's like Godzilla times Xenomorph.
Godzilla's little rogues gallery. They're typically lizards or bugs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their whole thing.
But yeah, I think it's a
Sometimes
pretty
they're
iconic
giant space robots.
Yeah. It's a pretty iconic monster design for like fans of like American monster movies. I like it a lot. It's not like the coolest thing ever. It looks generic because of all the later designs that derived from it.
It's true. That was the point I was getting.
It's pretty freaky looking. It's a gross little guy, and it's a baby. That's why he's crying and knocking like one tower over into another tower, which is an interesting visual for a movie like this.
That's what Shin Godzilla is doing as well. The idea with him is that he's just in constant pain, and that's why he's rampaging.
Yeah.
Because the evolution hurts him. So.
Yeah, I think that stepping on all the taxis hurts Clover's little footsies, and that's why he's rampaging.
But, you know, I was thinking about that when we were watching both of these movies. I was like, if I were that size, I'm like crushing those. That's gotta hurt. It's gotta be like stepping on.
I mean, like to be honest, it's probably just like stepping on a bug.
Maybe
to them.
Yeah, but stepping on a building would be like stepping on an anthill, and all the little humans would come out and bite your feet, and you go, ow, 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 ow.
But are the people biting their feet?
I would,
yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
I said while we were watching Cloverfield, I might be built different. I would just jump in its mouth.
Would you?
And, like, beat it up from the inside.
Yeah. Come on.
But also,
that's the only way to win.
I think it's kind of crazy that Clover can like bend down and like grab an individual human. Like imagine like standing over an anthill and bending down and grabbing a single ant. Like, that would be impossible. Like, when he did that to TJ Miller, I'm like, how'd that happen? But it's kind of awesome seeing TJ Miller get, like, really messed up. Because he's not a good person, allegedly.
You know, there's actually, Toho has a rule that Godzilla is not allowed to eat people.
Really?
Godzilla's only allowed to eat fish.
Oh, interesting.
He's a pescatarian.
So
he's a pescatarian.
So if there was ever a Bikini Bottom themed Godzilla movie, they'd be in trouble.
They'd be screwed.
See, SpongeBob is in Cloverfield because if he was in Godzilla,
it's over. He's dead.
For SpongeBob.
Yeah, full circle. But yeah.
How about we give our ratings for Cloverfield?
Ben, start us off.
I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10. I had a lot of fun. There's my favorite part was where he was like, "You know about Superman?" She goes, "You know about Superman? Have you also heard of Garfield?"
No, it was funny.
That made
Ben
me laugh
laughed
way
very
too
hard
loud.
about that one.
I love Garfield and Superman.
I also gave it an 8 out of 10. It is definitely my favorite movie that we talked about today. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Well, I'm the Cloverfield nerd, and I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's well acted, and the dialogue is very well written.
All of your reading just made you go like, "God, I hate this movie."
Yeah. No, I've always felt this way. It has really good dialogue. It's funny. It's well shot. But at its core, it's just a well-made generic monster movie, and there's not much more to it.
It is generic, but I like the gimmick, and I like monster movies.
A lot of the fun of the franchise is like the lore around it for like people who care about the franchise, but I can't say this is a good movie because it had a good marketing team. Like, that has nothing to do with the quality of the film. I really enjoy it. You should watch it. Like I said, some people are absolutely obsessed with this first movie. Shout out to our friend Madison, who was probably going to kill me. I'm going to get some angry texts. I'm just kidding. She ain't sitting through our Godzilla and Cloverfield
Her
spiel.
Letterboxd review does say this is why she moved to New York.
Oh, to get stepped on and bite the big monster foot.
Yeah.
I would do that too.
Madison better be watching.
Hit or miss is going in your... None of us are going to take... I just said her full name, so bleep that out.
Censor that out. Madison, if you don't watch this podcast, we'll all start crying.
Yeah, we're not going to text you, but someone who watches this is going to text you.
We're crying now.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
And on that note, what are we talking about next week, folks?
Let's talk about next week.
Next week's actually going to be a special week.
We're changing up the formula for
Ben is going to Chicago.
I'll be in the home of the Pope, Kanye West, and many other important figures in American history, like that fire.
And we are going to have a special guest next week.
The Hit or Miss editor, Dylan Baxter, is going to be on.
Dylan.
And he will be talking about Caught Stealing with Us, the new Darren Aronofsky film that comes out next weekend.
I'm very excited.
And he has recommended us a movie. Shall we drum roll for it?
So the movie that so since this is new, sorry.
Stop the drum roll.
Whenever we have guests on the podcast, we're going to let them recommend a movie. Normally my recommendation will be next week, but since Dylan's coming on, I'll recommend one in 2 weeks. But Dylan has gone ahead and given us a recommendation.
We'll send out a flow chart if you want to figure out the recommendation schedule.
Ben and Dylan will be calling in remotely. I'm going to explain this while we're still drum rolling. Ben and Dylan will be calling in remotely from Chicago while me and Haylie sit here, but we're still going to be sitting right next to each other because we miss Ben. We'll have like a little Ben doll sitting there. And then they're going to call in and we're going to talk about Caught Stealing, and then we're going to talk about Dylan's recommendation. He's a really big fan of this film, and since they're going to be in Chicago and it's a crime movie, Dylan told Ben that he's going to recommend...
The Blues Brothers!
The Blues Brothers!
Based on an SNL skit.
I've always been a fan of them. When I went to Universal Studios, I always wanted to see their show because I like how they hit the drums and the colors come up in the air. But I'm glad to finally see the movie. So before next week, make sure to watch The Blues Brothers and Caught Stealing, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.